Is there anything in particular that you're working on already that we should step aside from but heavily ally with?
You just mentioned it, all the climate energy groups and transportation and all that.
Okay, and then Tara's gonna, Sean's gonna cover it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say is, at least in the climate and energy space, there's a group called the 100% Campaign. It's not a group, it's a group of groups. And that's why I didn't write anything on a post-it, because I was like, what do you do with networking with other networks? But they have a retreat coming up on Saturday, so we're doing an all-day Saturday retreat, talking about getting Minnesota to 100% what? Like clean energy, climate.
100% renewable energy, but they want to broaden it out, like related to carbon neutral buildings, and they want to work on equity and things, but they're really weak on workforce and all that. So they desperately need more connections to like know what they're talking about. And on the like transportation side, all they have is electric vehicles right now, and so there's nothing about smart growth or anything. So anyway, the 100% Coalition was kind of launched out of Take Action Minnesota, which is great. But then it's also tying into the Minnesota Environmental Partnership, which has their energy cluster and their transportation cluster, which is also the Transportation Forward Coalition, which is very broad and diverse across the state. You know, there's a number of different coalitions working on transit as well as clean energy, but we're somewhat lacking in organizing enough to actually get projects done in communities, overcoming resistance of density and all that, or like rural areas trying to resist solar farms or whatever, and counties getting scared off. So like we also need to like make sure local projects happen, not just state.
One other thing that's unrelated to the 100% Campaign is, so we have the legislative agenda, but then, you know, Dane and others were saying this is going to be rich with stories and case studies and things like that, and I think there's a lot of examples. I have a few, and then I think everyone else that lives in their own community has some, in terms of rural areas and otherwise that have really overcome a lot of these obstacles and can be used as case studies. So when I was looking at a lot of the clean energy stuff, again, it's not an organization, but collaborations within Morris, the city of Morris, for instance, can really model how a small community has leveraged partnerships to achieve some of these goals. So I think there's probably a lot of stories out there too.
Yeah. Ivory's got it, and I'm just looking at Ann because I think the Regional Sustainable Development Partnerships have put a lot of those, certainly in Morris. I remember David Flugel's work on that. So, oh, you got one, great. Okay.
In terms of housing, I think this might be an area where you guys can ally because there's a ton of work being done on it. Some organizations are Homeline, Asamblea de Derechos Civiles, Inquilinos Unidos por Justicia, Jewish Community Action. There's a governor's task force on affordable housing as well. And I think some of these priorities do not match what they're pushing for. And I think it might throw a wrench into their efforts. And so I think maybe that's one of the places that you guys could ally with them and help move forward some of their agendas instead of taking that on as part of this one.
Right, and I know even before we had the Granite Falls meeting, we tried to meet with as many groups as possible, as humanly possible.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard, but we've been trying to stay in touch with as many groups as possible as well. When I say we, it's like me and Brett and Sarah and a couple other people, but yeah, we want to be extremely sensitive to not upsetting the apple cart of organizations that are already well underway, but instead try to support their work. Yeah, definitely. Any other things?
Was there anything that anyone was super excited about that they want to share with the third bullet? Okay, just wondering.
Well, I will just say one thing about the people of color and women in office. Kim and I were at a very interesting meeting a couple of weeks ago up in Marcel, Minnesota, with a couple of other rural women and women who work in rural areas, and there's a move afoot to try to get more women and rural women had a couple of county commissioners there and some township people who are really working hard to get more women and people of color in those positions. And so even though there may not be formal efforts by formal organizations, I think there's a lot of informal group action going on, and we were privileged to be a part of that a couple weeks ago. So
That Women Winning is an organization we have.
yeah, and the White House Project, I think, have been working on it for a while too. That may not be as active here anymore, but yeah.
And the Women's March is coming up very soon.
And Ann is the point person. If anybody would like to be on the Minnesota Workers newsletter, the Roundup, we still publish it. And the lead story is the Minnesota Women's March. Do you want to say anything about that, Ann? As long as you got a crowd here.
Sure. The march will be on January 19th. So just in the planning organization right now. So most of the planning unfortunately happens in the Twin Cities, but we try to post everything that we can. There's also a conference coming up, and I think it's February 24th, called Min by Min, and that's a time to get people to learn how to become activists or just share any something special knowledge. So I just, as Jane said, we just posted in the MRP newsletter today that they're really trying to do a call out to get people from all over Minnesota. So I especially encourage people from rural Minnesota to take a look at what you might present there if you wanted to sponsor a table there. I don't know what that means. It doesn't necessarily mean write a check, but have a tabletop discussion. So as I said, now they have an insane turnaround time. I think they want proposals by December 14th. They're going to be a little more generous. They know that they're going to be doing something. But the time is not to submit a proposal on any of these topics would be good. This is their second annual conference, and last year I think they had 400 people.
Yeah, I was there last year.
Oh, great. Then you could probably speak more to it than I could even.
Clara's going to have a march.
Awesome. Awesome. Secretly, what I'd like to do, if we're just throwing out secrets, I'd like to find a way to get a live stream from the St. Cloud March and to broadcast that then on the Capitol stairs as well. And they know I want to do that. They want to do it. We're working on some of that. But so anyone else who knows that they've got a march would be awesome. Because I know there's also an effort to get people into the Twin Cities, but I think it's great to have people in their, where they're leaders. Mm-hmm. If you're a leader in St. Cloud, be a leader in St. Cloud. If you're a leader in Black Duck, be a leader in Black Duck. So, thanks, Jane.
Yeah. Well, this is the group to. Anybody else have an announcement they're burning to give about something that's coming up? We don't want to hog the floor for our things. So, Beth's got something.
Since you mentioned the Women's March, are you heading up the Minnesota Women's March?
Am I?
Yeah.
No.
No, because I'm having such a difficult time getting a hold of them. They don't have a phone number, and I lost the phone number of one of the Beverly Bailey, who's another disabled activist.
Oh, I know who she is. Yes. I'm not. I am one of the planners. Really, what I do is I tweet for them and I do a lot of social media for them. But if you give me your phone number, I will pass it on to the planners.
Maybe we can talk some more after this.
Sounds good. No, we are pollinating with the bees already.
Pollinating.
Okay. Did somebody else have their hand up here? Or we should probably keep moving. And Sarah, do we have little snacks for people to go home with, or
just some granola bars?
Granola bars outside. Okay.
We'll at least get you home.
We'll get you home. All right. So, last but not least, we want to get a little bit of a evaluation from those of you that are left here, and thank you for staying the course, about what you liked about this experience, not the last 6 months, but just right here over the last 24 hours. What you learned, something you learned, and what you would change about how this was constructed, or whatever, something you would change. So if you want to either put it on a post-it or just write it up on there, come on and do that, and then we'll just say our goodbyes.
Yes.
So, yeah. So take a minute to write learn, change, and then put it on up there and we'll sit back down one more time and say see you later.
Till next time.
Till next time, yeah. State capital or bust?
That's it.
Yeah, right.